This is a recording for the AME class. It's for the CAD portion. And what we're doing right now is we're working on the Mech design test. It's a test that you do need to pass. This is primarily for the juniors. But what's going to happen here, it's pretty straightforward. You have to actually draw a shape, and then you have to get some measurements off of it. So that's what we're going to do right now. So to do this, this is the first thing. As you take a look at this right now, this is what we're seeing. We're seeing this actual this drawing right here. We have to put this together. So to do this, I'm just going to go down here to AutoCAD. And when I go to AutoCAD, I'm going to go to New, and I'm going to just use Mech inches. Mech inches. You could also get this from the template. You guys all know about that. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start by just starting down here. I'm going to start with my line command. I'm going to start down here at the lower left corner, and I'm going to go up this way. Now going this way, let's take a look at what we have here. What's happening right here is I'm going up here, and I need to get the X and the Y. So the X is always going to be the horizontal. So in this case, the horizontal is going to be the difference between 4.88 and 4.19. 4.88 and 4.19. Now I can do that in my head. That's actually 0.69. So over here, the X is 0.69. And then up here, the actual Y is here. It's 3.13. So it's so 3.13 is shown over here, and so that's actually how that works. So let's see how that works. So I'll go over here, and into AutoCAD, I'm going to type in 0.69, comma 3.13, and I press Enter. And when I have it, it looks something like that, which looks about right. So I have that. So I think we're good to go. And I'm going to continue on here. Now the next thing I have over here is I have this dimension. So I got 4.19 to 2.92. Now the delta between there is going to be 1.27. I can just do it in my head, and actually that is straight over to the right, so there we don't have to worry about our Y distance because the X is going to be the same as the last one, which is 3.13. So we just go over 1.27, and so I just go to the right like this, 1.27, and press Enter. So I have that. Okay, so now, next thing, now I have to do my X and my Y again. Now over here, I've actually got 3.13, as you see there. So I got 3.13, and I have to subtract the next thing. So I've got this 3.13, which is the larger distance, and I'm going right to here, which is 2.56. So the delta between those is actually 0.57. So 0.57, that's the Y, okay? And then the X, I didn't do the X yet. So the X is going to be the difference between 2.92 and 1.92, and that's 1. So it's 1, comma, negative 0.57. 1, comma, negative 0.57. So let's see if we get that. 1, comma, negative 0.57. Press Enter. That's your X, and that's your Y, and that looks about perfect right there. Now, we're on a roll right here. Now I'm going to go straight down. So this one right here is straight down, and you're getting the feel for it right now. So it's 2.56 minus 1.89, and that's actually straight over, and that's actually 0.67. So it's 0.67 straight down. So I go straight down, 0.67, press Enter like that. All right, and then I'm going to go over to the right. Now, going over to the right again. This distance over here tells me that over here it is, okay, so it's 1.92, but I have to subtract out the 0.42. So that's 1.5. So it's 1.5 in the X, and it doesn't go up or down. So 1.5 in the X. So I go over here, 1.5, and press Enter. We should be good to go. And then the next one down is I'm going to be going over to the X is 0.42, and then down. And my distance down is the difference between 1.89 and 0.33. And that, doing it in my head, that's 0.56. So it's 0.42, comma, negative 0.56. Like that. And then I go straight down. And the distance down is 1.33, so I have that. So I go down here. And should work out about perfectly if I have this. Just like that. And it does. So I do that, and then I can just right-click and choose Close. Boom, we have that. Okay, so that is a shape right there, and that should be all right. So I'm just going to put some dimensions on it to verify. You always want to verify that your dimensions are correct. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to start by going over here, and I'll start from end to end like this, and 4.88, perfect. And then I'm going to do the next one, which is going from here to there. And that's perfect. And I go to the next one, which is going from here to here. And again, that's exactly right. And then the next one is going from here to here. And that is also correct. And then the next one is going to be from here to there, and that's just like that. Okay, so that is actually correct. When I take a look at this, those are actually the correct dimensions. Now I'm going to do the vertical. So I'll go here. I'm going to start by going from here to there. I do that, and that tells me that's that. And I'm just going to go ahead. You always want to verify these. You never just want to assume you got them right. You always want to go here and check this. Always, always, always. That's something I've learned to do because it's the old thing. Measure once, cut twice, measure twice, cut once. So we're doing that right now. So I'm doing this, and we are good to go. Now after that, there's a couple different ways you could make your circles, because we got a couple circles here. So I got one circle right here. This one tells me that it's 0.70 up, and then it's over 0.70. So I could just draw a circle here with a diameter of 0.48. So let's start with that. So I'll start here by going here and creating a circle with a diameter of 0.48. So I'll go ahead and put this here, and I'll make that 0.48. Press up. Looks like I didn't get that, so I'll try that again. Okay, try it again. 0.48. Press enter. There we go. So I've got that. No, I got that wrong. I used the radius. Okay, we'll try that again. So circle center diameter. Go here, and that's going to be 0.48. Press enter. That's better. And now it has to move over to the left 0.7 and up 0.7. So I could just move it. I could move it with two movements, or I could move it with one, but I'll just move it with two. So here, I'll go here, and I'm going to go over 0.7, and then I can move it up 0.7. 0.7, there that is. Okay, and then I need another circle. This next circle, if I go over here, is 0.64, diameter 0.64. So I'm going to circle, center diameter. I'll go ahead and set this here, and that's going to be 0.64. Now that one needs to move over 2.5 to the right, and then 0.7 up. So I'll start by moving it over here and going over 2.5. 2.5, press enter, and then move up 0.7. Okay, 0.7, boom, like that. Okay, so now we have that. Now this completes the figure, although I do want to make sure that my two circles are correct, so I'll make sure that they have the proper location. So I'll go here, and I'm going to go to diameter, and this one should be 0.64, and it is. I'll do it again, and this one should be there. That's going to be 0.48, so we have that. And then we go here, and I will go ahead and use my linear, and I'll make sure this is correct. So I'll go from here to there, and that's 0.70, so we're good to go. And then I'm going to go here and go from there over down to there, and that should also be 0.70, just like I'm running out of room. I'll just put it there. And then the last one will be the same thing, going from here over to there, and then I go down, and that's 2.5, like we see there. Okay, so now that actually puts it all together, and we have everything perfectly done. Now, here's the thing. The next thing is you're going to notice that there are some leaders here, and the leaders actually right here, they just identified the different locations. So I'm going to go here, I'll put this right there, and we're going to go ahead and make that C, make capital C. Now you don't have to put this in, you can just look at the, you don't have to do this right here, but I find it just to be, for you guys, I'm just going to show you how this all works. And this one down here is F, and that's going to be F, press enter. All right. And the next one's going to be E, which is this one right here. Okay, E, press enter. Actually, just click there. And then the next one is going to be, this right here is going to be A. So that circle is A. And then this circle is B. And then last of all, this corner down here is D. Let's go ahead and place this here. We'll make that D, and we're good to go. Okay, so that's pretty much all set, and I could move this around a little bit as I need to, but you get the idea. Okay, so that is all together now. So we're good to go. Now, I just hit this, by the way, to make those bold. All right, now, at this point, what you're going to be asked, once you have this far, you're going to be asked to do things like giving measurements. Like one of the measurements it'll ask you is like, what is the measurement from E to F? So if we do this, the way to do this is up here. You have all these measuring tools. I've got distance right here. I've got radius. I've got angle. I've got area, and so forth. So if I go here and use distance, this lets me go ahead and click right on top of here and right on top of there. And that tells me that that distance directly is 3.91. 3.91. This is actually something that was on the test. Pretty similar to that. I think that might be the exact correct number. So that's what you would do. So 3.91, that is what that looks like. And if I were to be asked other things, like let's say the area. If I want to get the area of the item, I could go to area, and then I press, now I can, if I right-click my mouse and choose object, I can go ahead and just grab, and I did make that a polyline. Okay, so since I didn't make it a polyline, I could do, I'll show you a little trick here. If you go here, use quick, and if you put your cursor right here and click, it gives you the area just like that very easily, and it subtracts out the circles. So here, I'll do that again. If you read that, it says area equals 10.9085, gives you the perimeter, and then you could also go ahead and you could also get these. And if you wanted to get these individually, you could do that, or you can subtract them. So that's a way you could do it. Or you could also go ahead and go to join, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to join all my polylines together there, which I did. Now that's all joined. And if you drew it with a polyline, all you got to do is go to measure and go to area. And then you can right click and go to object. You can click right on there. And that gives you that. And that gives you all of that. And that says area, tells you. Now that's the area, including the circles. But then you could also go ahead and you could subtract it out. But that is how we did it before. If I want to subtract it out, I just go ahead and click here. And it does not give you those. So those are the two different ways to do that. So again, right here, this is quick measure, lets you do a lot of things. Distance is right here, and then there's angle. So if I want to get angle, I go ahead and click here, and then click there. And to get that particular angle, let's say I want to get this angle. I'll go ahead and I'll go to here, and I'll go to angle, and I'll just go ahead and let me try that again. I'm not getting it right. So I'm going to go to, yeah, angle. Let's try that again. So I'm going to click on this line, and then click on this line like that. And it tells me that angle is 150 degrees. And then I'll do that again. I'll go to measure this. I'll go ahead and I'll go to angle again. And I'll go ahead and click here and there. And it tells me that's 127 degrees. You could also simply go up here and use this tool, angular, and click here and then there. You could do that, 120 in this direction right here. And if I right click and do that again, I could go ahead and go here to here. It gives me that 127 like that. And that is how we would make that happen. Get all those right there, so you get the idea. All right, and that is how you would go ahead and do this, because you're going to be asked to draw the figure and then to get some data off it. So that's how you get the distances, that's how you get the areas, and there's some other things you could do there too. And if you have any questions about this, you could always just go up here and go here and press F1. F1 opens up your help, and F1's right here. It's going to give you all this information about how to use it to measure things. So that's about it. That's all you should need for the questions that ask you to draw something and then get measurements off of it. There is one other thing I will show you. If you click on the polyline like that, if you make it a polyline, and then if you right-click your mouse, you can go to Properties. And if you go to Properties right here, one of the things you can do is you can actually go from vertex to vertex. So if I click here, I can then just go ahead and move it. See that little X moving around right here? And when I do this, it changes the vertex X and the vertex Y. So you can actually just go ahead and go through here and get the different values just like you see there. And that is how you're able to do that. So if you're asked that, that is how you find those. So this is a very useful video. It basically is going to give you all that. So again, you click on this, you right-click your mouse and go to Properties. And then when you go here, this lets you go ahead and measure, rather get the values, the X and Y values of the different vertices. Wherever the X is, that's where the vertex is. All right, that's it. That's about all I have here. That's about almost 15 minutes, but that should get you where you want to go to. So that's it, and good luck with the test.